I read something today that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. Actually, it's a combination of a few things. I've downloaded a new app to my phone from the Bible Project, and my intention is to use it this new year as a tool for reading the Bible in a slightly different way. And one of the things that it does is highlight some of the themes which run through different passages in the Bible. And as it starts at the beginning of Genesis, one of those themes is the Holy Spirit. A little later on, I was reading a bit to prepare for our conversations later this month about values and vision. And I read a passage which described the church as a sailboat, particularly in contrast to a rowboat. And since these things have been dancing together around my head for most of the day, I thought I'd share some of them with you. Chances are that some of you have much more experience with boats than I do. The truth is that I get a little seasick, and so boats are not my favourite form of transport. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever been on a sailboat. I have been on a rowboat on a few occasions. And there are a number of lessons that I've learned from these excursions with my siblings when I was a child on the canal which ran along the bottom of my grandparents' garden. But there are two things that rowing on that canal particularly I want to share with you today. Firstly, on a canal which is generally quite still, not the subject of tides or currents, in a rowboat on a canal, you are completely responsible for the direction in which you are going, even when your incompetence takes you into the path of a much larger vessel. Secondly, after a while on a rowboat in a canal, you will get tired and need a rest, especially if you are a skinny teenager with the upper body strength of a malnourished vole. Now, whilst it's true I've never been on a sailboat, I have, again in the distant days of my teenage years, been windsurfing just the once. I was on a Christian holiday on the south coast, and I was very proud to be one of the few people in my windsurfing lesson that both managed to stand up on the board and to lift my sail as well. The problem was that with sail in hand, almost immediately, I began to head off to sea. I had no control over my direction. I was heading away from everyone else, propelled by the power of Mother Nature herself, at a speed I could not have hoped for otherwise. In contrast to a rowboat, neither the power nor the direction of travel were under my control. Sometimes I think we'd all prefer our church to be like a rowboat. In fact, sometimes I think we make it like one. We decide the direction we'd like to go in, and then we work really hard at getting there. Though often with hindsight, our choice of direction might have been better. And there are always one or two people in any church paddling in a different direction from the others. But the church should be far more like a sailboat. Genesis 1 describes the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God, the breath, the wind of God as hovering over the waters. If the church is a boat, it should be one that is powered by the wind of the Spirit in its sails, not by its own strength. If the church is a boat, it should be one steered in the direction that the Spirit blows, not where its members see fit. Our God is at work in our church and in the world. The Holy Spirit is at work in our lives and in the lives of those around us. We need to stop rowing where we think best until we end up lost and exhausted, and instead discern where the Spirit is blowing. Raise a sail and join with God. By his power, in his will for us, for his church, for his world. With the power of God working in us and through us, we can do more than we could ask or imagine. It's time for us to raise a sail.